That the next product we will be discussing is one most every woman and many men are familiar with. For generations, talcum powder has been used in such popular products as baby powder and cosmetics by millions of women and men with no thought that its use could be harmful to their health. Unfortunately, there is more to the story as talcum powder has issues for the consumer too. So, Wendy, can you tell our audience what concerns there are for women who have used talcum powder?
Yeah, Tony, this is big news, and everybody needs to know about this. As you just said, most women and men aren't aware of any possible problem with a product like talcum powder. It's just baby powder, right? Well, the reality, though, is that for over 40 years, there have been suspicions that talcum powder could be related to the development of cancer in the reproductive system, and more recently, mesothelioma and asbestos-related lung cancer.
So, have there been studies done to substantiate these claims? I mean, that seems almost unbelievable.
Oh, there certainly have. Studies on the causal link between talcum powder usage and ovarian cancer date all the way back to 1971, and more recent studies in 2013 published in Cancer Prevention Research. Now, further concerns regarding mesothelioma were raised as early as 1972 and later in 2014 when researchers indicated that testing revealed a popular brand of talcum powder may lead to the release of inhalable asbestos fibers, which may have caused the death of at least one woman. Now, with regard to the ovarian cancer risk, a Harvard researcher, Dr. Daniel Kramer, has estimated that as many as 10,000 women every year develop ovarian cancer as a result of the use of talcum powder. That is a huge number, since in the United States, it's projected that 1 in 70 women get ovarian cancer and that 14,000 people die of ovarian cancer annually.
You know, it seems to be a recurring theme here. Another product where the public has not been made aware of the risks. I mean, am I right about that?
Unfortunately, Tony, you are so right. Even with these findings of potential danger, manufacturers of talc, including Johnson & Johnson, the makers of baby powder, have been accused of having done nothing to educate consumers or even to include a warning on their products about a potential link. Studies show that women who use talc-containing products as part of their feminine hygiene every day have a 30 to 60% higher risk of developing ovarian cancer than those who don't use the product. Now, the risk of mesothelioma from asbestos exposure for men and women adds to this problem.
So, if you or a loved one has been diagnosed with ovarian cancer or mesothelioma after regular use of talcum powder, I strongly urge that you call the number on your screen now to get more information about what can be done to protect you and your rights. So, Wendy, what do the researchers say is the cause of these devastating side effects?
According to research, the reason for the ovarian cancer risk is that talc particles actually migrate to the ovaries. And since the particles are slow to break down, they can remain intact in the ovaries for years. In the ovaries, these foreign particles create an inflammatory response, and this creates conditions which increase the likelihood of cancer growth. With mesothelioma, testing reveals asbestos fibers can actually be inhaled into the lungs from exposure to talcum powder, and this can cause a rare and deadly form of lung cancer.
With all this disturbing information, have there been lawsuits filed against the manufacturers?
Oh, there certainly have. Wait till you hear this. As a result of these findings, over 6,600 lawsuits have been filed against Johnson & Johnson and Colgate-Palmolive. These are prominent manufacturers of talcum powder products, and they accuse the companies of failing to warn consumers of the possible link between ovarian cancer and the use of talc-based body powder in the genital area. Now, additional lawsuits have been filed by men and women alleging their mesothelioma was caused by inhaling asbestos fibers.
So, have any of these lawsuits been settled?
They certainly have. Wait till you hear these numbers. In November of 2017, a record $110 million verdict was upheld after being awarded to a woman whose ovarian cancer was linked to the use of Johnson & Johnson baby powder. And in 3 other separate 2016 court verdicts, Johnson & Johnson was ordered to pay a total of $225 million, finding that the women developed ovarian cancer after using Johnson & Johnson baby powder. Another verdict in April of 2018 awarded $117 million to a man who developed mesothelioma after inhaling asbestos dust generated from regular use of talcum powder. The juries ordered Johnson & Johnson to pay these damages over claims that they knew decades ago that its talc-based products could cause cancer, and they failed to warn consumers. To date, millions of dollars in verdicts have been awarded in talc-related lawsuits, and a number of other lawsuits are pending as a result of the links between ovarian cancer and mesothelioma caused by the use of talcum powder.
That is some really incredible information you've just given us. You know, I would never have thought that talcum powder could be so dangerous.
Me either.